Céad Míle Fáilte. Welcome to the Treasured Tales of Ireland, a place where you can come and listen to the many myths and legends and folktales and fairy tales of the Emerald Isle as a way to keep the stories of old alive. My name is MyLinda Butterworth, and I will be your teller of tales. I hope you will join me each week for new tales, and if you enjoy my work, then like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And check out all my other playlists for many more tales. Before we start, you should note that if you're using the closed caption feature on this video, the many Irish names don't sound the way they look, and we have made every attempt to say them properly. Now, let's get started. Today, we continue with the stories of the ever-living living ones, part 7 of 15. Midhir and Etain, episode 14. And Midhir took a hill for himself, and his wife Fuamnach was with him there, and his daughter Bree, and Leith, son of Celtar, and Cuelu was most beautiful among the men of the Sidhe of Ireland at that time, and he loved Bree, Midhir's daughter. And Bree went out with her young girls to meet him one time at the grave of the daughters beside Tiawer. And Leith came, and his young men along with him, till he was on the hill of the after repentance. And they could not come nearer to one another because of the slingers of Midhir's hill that were answering one another till their spears were as many as the swarm of bees on a day of beauty. And Coughlin, Leith's servant, got a sharp wound from them, and he died. Then the girl turned back to Midhir's hill, and her heart broke in her, and she died. And Leith said, "Although I am not let come to this girl, I will leave my name with her." And the hill was called Bree Leith from that time. After a while, Midhir took Étain Eochaid to be his wife. And there was great jealousy on Fuamnach, the wife he had before, when she saw the love Midhir gave to Étain. And she called to the druid Céad Míle Fáilte to help her, and he put spells on Étain the way Fuamnach was able to drive her away. And when she was driven out of Bree Leith, Angus Og, the son of the Dagda, took her into his keeping. And when Midhir asked her back, he would not give her up. But he brought her about with him to every place he went. And wherever they rested, he made a sunny house for her, and put sweet-smelling flowers in it. And he made invisible walls about it that no one could see through, and could not be seen. But when news came to Fuamnach that Étain was so well cared by Angus, it angered, and jealousy came on her again, and she searched her mind for a way to destroy Étain altogether. And it is what she did. She persuaded Midhir and Angus to go out and meet one another, and to make peace, for there had been a quarrel between them ever since the time Étain was sent away. And when Angus was away of Brúnabowen, Fuamnach went and found Étain there in her sunny house, and she turned her with druid spells into a fly, and then she sent a blast of wind into the house that swept her away through the window. But as to the Midhir and Angus, they waited a while for Fuamnach to come and join them, and when she did not come, they were uneasy in their minds. And Angus hurried back to Brúnabowen, and when he found the sunny house empty, he went in search of Fuamnach, and it was along with Étain, the druid, he found her, and he struck her head off there and then. And for 7 years, Étain was blown to and fro from Ireland in great misery. And at last, she came to the house of Etar, of the Inver Sekfan, where there was a feast going on. And she fell from a beam of the roof into the golden cup that was beside Etar's wife. And Etar's wife drank her down with the wine. And at the end of 9 months, she was born again as Etar's daughter. And she had the same name as before, Étain, and she was reared as a king's daughter. And there were 50 young girls, daughters of princes, brought up with her to keep her company. And it happened one day, Étain and all the rest of the young girls were out bathing in the bay at the Inver Sekfan, and they saw from the water a man with very high looks coming towards them over the plain, and he riding a bay horse with mane and tail curled. A long green cloak he had on him, and a shirt woven with threads of red gold, and a brooch of gold that reached across to his shoulders on each side. And he had on his back a shield of silver with a rim of gold and a boss of gold, and in his hand a sharp pointed spear covered with rings of gold from heel to socket. Fair yellow hair he had coming over his forehead, and it bound with a golden band to keep it from loosening. And when he came near them, he got down from his horse, and he sat down on the bank, and it is what he said. "It is here Étain is today, at the Mound of Fair Women. It is among little children is her life on the strand of Inver Kekvan. It is she healed the eye of the king from the well of Lochdalig. It is she who was swallowed in a heavy drink by the wife of Etar. Many great battles will happen for your sake to Eochaid of Midhir. Destruction will fall upon the Sidhe, and war on thousands of men." And when he had said that, he vanished, and no one knew where he went. And they did not know the man that had come to them was Midir of Leith. And when Étain was grown to be a beautiful young woman, she was seen by Eochaid Fáilte, High King of Ireland, and this is the way that happened. He was going one time over the fair green of Leith, and he saw at the side of a well a woman with a bright comb of gold and silver, and she was washing in a silver basin, having 4 golden birds on it, and the little bright purple stones set in the rim of the basin. A beautiful purple cloak she had, and silver fringes to it, and a golden brooch, and she had on a dress of green silk with a long hood embroidered in red gold, and wonderful clasp of gold and silver on her breasts and on her shoulder. The sunlight was falling on her so that the gold and the green silk were shining out. 2 plaits of hair she had, 4 locks in each plait, and a bead at the end of each lock, and the color of her hair was like yellow flags in summer, or like red gold after it is rubbed. There she was, letting down her hair to wash it, and her arms out through the sleeve holes of her shift. Her soft hands were as white as the snow of a single night, and her eyes as blue as any blue flower, and her lips as red as the berries of the rowan tree, and her body as white as the foam of a wave. The bright light of the moon was in her face, the highness of pride in her eyebrows, a dimple of delight in each of her cheeks, the light of wooing in her eyes. And when she walked, she had a step that was steady and even like the walk of a queen. And Eochaid sent his people to bring her to him, and he asked her name, and she told him her name was Étain, daughter of Étain, king of the riders of the Sidhe. And Eochaid gave her his love, and he paid the bride price, and brought her home to Tiaur as his wife, and there was a great welcome before her there. And after a while there was a great feast made at tea hour, and all the chief men of Ireland came to it, and it lasted from the fortnight before Samhain to the fortnight after it. And King Eochaid's brother Ailill, that was afterwards called Ailill Angona, of the only fault, came to the feast. And when he saw his brother's wife Étain, he fell in love with her on that moment, and through the length of the feast he was not content unless he could be looking at her. And a woman, the daughter of Tuatha Dé Danann of the Red Hand, took notice of it, and she said, "What far thing are you looking at, Ailill? It is what I think that be looking the way you are doing is a sign of love." Then Ailill checked himself and did not look towards Étain any more. But when the feast was at an end and the gathering broken up, great desire and envy came on Ailill, so that he fell sick. And they brought him to the house in Tethfia, and he stopped there through the length of a year, and he was wasting away. But he told no one the cause of his sickness. And at the end of the year, Eochaid came to visit his brother, and he passed his hand over his breast, and Ailill let a groan. "What way are you?" said Eochaid then. "Are you getting any easier? For you must not let this illness come to a bad end." "By my word," said Ailill, "it is not easier I am, but worse and worse every day and every night." "What is it ails you?" said Eochaid. "And what is it that is coming against you?" "By my word, I cannot tell you that," said Ailill. "I will bring one here that will know the cause of your sickness," said the king. With that he sent Fuamnach, his own physician, to Ailill, and when he came he passed his hand over Ailill's heart, and at that he groaned again. "This sickness will not be your death," said Fuamnach. Then, "I know well what it comes from. It is neither from the pains of jealousy or from love you have given and that you have not found a way out of." But there was shame on Ailill, and he would not confess to the physician that was what he said was right. So Fuamnach went away then and left him. As to King Eochaid, he went away to visit all the provinces of Ireland that were under his kingship, and he left Étain after him, and it is what he said. "Good Étain," he said, "take care of Ailill so long as he is living, and if he should die from us, make a sodded grave for him, and raise a pillar stone over it, and write his name on it in Ogham." And with that he went away on his journey. One day now, Étain went into the house where Ailill was lying in sickness, and they talked together. And then she made a little song for him, and it is what she said. "What is it that ails you, young man? For it is a long time you are wasted with this sickness, and it is not the hardness of the weather has stopped your light footstep." And Ailill answered her in the same way, and he said, "I have good cause for my hurt. The music of my own harp does not please me. There is no sort of food is pleasant to me, and so I am wasted away." Then Étain said, "Tell me, what is it ails you? For I am a woman that is wise. Tell me, is there anything that would cure you the way I may help you to do it?" And Ailill answered her, "Oh, kind, beautiful woman, it is not good to tell a secret to a woman, but sometimes it may be known through the eyes." And Étain said, "Though it is bad to tell a secret, yet it ought to be told now, or how can help be given to you?" And Ailill answered, My blessings on you, fair-haired Étain. It is not fit I am to be spoken with. My wits have been no good help to me. My body is a rebel to me. All Ireland knows, O king's wife, there is a sickness in my head and in my body. And Étain said, if there is a woman of the fair-faced women of Ireland tormenting you this way, she must come to you here, if it pleases you, and if it is myself will woo her for you, she said. Then Ailill said to her, Woman, it would be easy for you to yourself to put my sickness from me and my desire, he said. Is a desire that is as long as a year, but it is love given to an echo, the spending of grief on a wave, a lonely fight with a shadow. That is what my love and my desire have been to me. And it is then Étain knew what the sickness was that was on him, and it was a heavy trouble to her. But she came to him every day to tend him, and to make ready his food, and to pour water over his hands, and all she could do she did for him, for it was a grief to her, he to wither away, and to be lost for her sake. And at last one day she said to him, Rise up, Ailill, son of a king, man of high deeds, and I will do your healing. Then he put his arms about her, and she kissed him, and she said, Come at the morning of tomorrow, at the break of day, to the house outside the dune, and I will give you all you desire. That night Ailill lay without sleep until the morning was at hand, and at the very time he should have risen to go to her, it was at that time his sleep settled down upon him, and he slept on till the full light of day. But Étain went to the house outside the dune, and she was not long there when she saw a man coming towards her, having the appearance of Ailill, sick and tired and worn. But when he came near and she looked closely at him, she saw it was not Ailill that was in it, that he went away, and after she had waited a while, she herself went back into the dune. And it was then Ailill awoke, and when he knew the morning had passed by, he would sooner have had death than life, and he fretted greatly. And Étain came in then, and he told her what had happened to him, and she said, Come tomorrow to the same place. But the same thing happened the next day. And when it happened on the third day, and the same man came to meet Étain, she said to him, It is not you at all I came to meet here. And why is it that you come to meet me? And as to him I came to meet, she said, Indeed it is not for gain or through likeness I bade him come to me, but to heal him of the sickness he is lying under for my sake. Then the man said, It would be more fitting for you to come to meet me than any other one. For in the time long ago, he said, I was your first husband, and your first man. What is it that you are saying? She said, and who are you yourself? It is easy to tell that, he said. I am Midir of Leith. And what parted us, if I was your wife? Said Étain. It was through Fuamnach's sharp jealousy, and through the spells of Brisel Ítalium, the druid, we were parted. And will you come away with me now? He said. But Étain said, It is not for a man whose kindred is unknown I will give up the High King of Ireland. And Midir said, Surely it was I myself put that great desire for you on Ailill, and it was I hindered him from going to meet you the way you might keep your good name. And when she went back to Ailill's house, she found his sickness was gone from him and his desire. And she told him all that had happened, and he said, It has turned out well for us both. I am well of my sickness, and your good name is not lessened." "We give thanks to our gods for that," said Étain, "for we are well pleased to have it so." And just at that time Eochaid came back from his journey, and they told him the whole story, and he was thankful to his wife for the kindness she had showed to Ailill. It was a good while after that there was a great fair held at tea hour, and Étain was out on the green looking at the games and races, and she saw a rider coming towards her, but no one could see him but herself. When he came near, she saw he had the same appearance as the man that came and spoke with her and the young girls the time they were out in the sea in the Inverkeck Vaughan. And when he came up to her, he began to sing words to her that no one could hear but herself. And it is what he said: "Beautiful woman, will you come with me to the wonderful country that is mine? It is pleasant to be looking at the people there, beautiful people without any blemish. Their hair is of the color of the flag flower, their fair body is as white as snow. The color of the foxglove is on every cheek. The young never grow old there. The fields and the flowers are as pleasant to be looking at as the blackbird's eggs. Warm, sweet streams of mead and of wine flow through that country. There is no care and no sorrow on any person. We see others, but we ourselves are not seen. Through the plains of Ireland are beautiful. It is little you would think of them after our great plain. Though the ale of Ireland is heady, the ale of the great country is still more heady. Oh, beautiful woman, if you come to my proud people, it is the flesh of pigs newly killed I will give you for food. It is ale and new milk I will give you for drink, and it is feasting you will have with me. There is a crown of gold you will have upon your hair. Oh, beautiful woman. And will you come there with me, Étain? He said. But Étain said she would not leave. Will you come if Eochaid gives you leave? Midir said then. I will do that, said Étain. One day after that time, Eochaid, the High King, was looking out from his palace at tea hour, and he saw a strange man coming across the plain. Yellow hair he had, and eyes blue and shining like the flame of a candle, and a purple dress on him, and in his hand a 5-pronged spear, and a shield having golden knobs on it. He came up to the king, and the king bade him welcome. Who are you yourself? He said, and what are you come for you are a stranger to me. I am a stranger to you. You are no longer a stranger to me, for I have known you this long time, said the strange man. What is your name? Said the king. It is nothing very great, said he. I am Midhir of Bríleith. What is it brings you here? Said Eochaid. I am come to play a game of chess with you, said the stranger. Are you a good player? Said the king. A trial will tell you that, said Midhir. The chessboard is in the queen's house, and she is in her sleep at this time, said Eochaid. That is no matter, said Midhir, for I have with me a chessboard as good as your own. And with that he brought out his chessboard, and it made of silver and precious stones, shining in every corner of it. And then he brought out the chessmen, and they were made of gold from a bag that was shining gold threads. Let us play now, said Midhir. I will not play without a stake, said the king. What stake shall we play for? Said Midhir. We can settle that after the game is over, said the king. They played together then, and Midir was beaten, and it was what the king asked of him, 50 brown horses to be given to him. And then they played the second time. And Midir was beaten again, and this time the king gave him 4 hard things to do, and to make a road over Mon Lorad, and to clear Mida of stones, and to cover the district of Tira with rushes, and the district of Darbrek with trees. So Midir brought his people from Breleith to do those things, and it is hard work they had doing them. And Eochaid used to be out watching them, and he took notice that when the men of She yoked their oxen, it was by the neck and the shoulder they used to yoke them, and not by the forehead and the head. And it was after that Eochaid taught his people to yoke them that way, and he was given them the name of Eochaid Airem, and that is, of the plough. And when all was done, Midir came to Eochaid again, looking thin and wasted enough with the dint of the hard work he had been doing. And he asked Eochaid to play the 3rd game with him, and Eochaid agreed, and it was settled as before, the stake to be settled by the winner. It was Midir won the game that time, and when the king asked him what he wanted, "It is Étain, your wife, I want," said he. "I will not give her to you," said the king. "All I will ask then," said Midir, "is to put my arms around her and to kiss her once." "You may do that," said the king, "if you will wait till the end of a month." So Midir agreed to that, and went away for that time. At the end of the month he came back again, and he stood in the great hall of tea hour, and no one had ever seen him look so comely as he did that night. And Eochaid had all his best fighting men gathered in the hall, and he shut all the doors of the palace when he saw Midir come in, for fear he would try to bring away Étain by force. "I am come to be paid what is due to me," said Midir. "I have not been thinking of it up to this time," said Eochaid, and there was anger on him. "You promised me Étain your wife," said Midir. The redness of shame came on Étain when she heard that, but Midir said, "Let there be no shame on you, Étain, for it is through the length of a year I have been asking your love, and have offered you every sort of treasure and riches, and you refuse to come to me till such a time as your husband would give you leave." "It is true I said that," said Étain. "I will go if Eochaid gives me up to you." "I will not give you up," said Eochaid. "I will let him do no more than put his arms around you in this place as was promised him." "I will do that," said Midir. And with that he took his sword in his left hand, and he took Étain in his right arm, and kissed her. All the armed men in the house made a rush at him then, but he rose up through the roof, bringing Étain with him, and when they rushed out of the house to follow him, all they could see was 2 swans high up in the air, linked together by a chain of gold. There was great anger on Eochaid then, and he went and he searched all through Ireland, but there were no tidings of them to be had, for they were in the house of the She. It was to the brew of Angus and on the Bowen they went first, and after they had stopped there a while, they went to the hill of the She in Connacht, and there was a serving maid with Étain at that time, Cruachan Crozier her name was, and she said to Midir, "Is this your own place we are in?" "It is not," said Midir. "It is my own place is nearer to the rising of the sun." She was not well pleased to stop there when she heard that, and Midir said to quiet her, "It is your own name will be put on this place from this out." and the hill was called Hill Cruachan from that time. Then they went to Breleith, and Eitain's daughter Essa came to them there, and she brought 100 of every sort of cattle with her, and Midir fostered her for 7 years. And all through that time Eochaid, the high king, was making a search for them. But at the last, Codal of the withered breast took 4 rods of yew and wrote ohams on them, and through them and through his enchantments he found out that Étain was with Midir and Breleith. So Eochaid went there and made an attack on the place, and he was for 9 years besieging it, and Midir was driving him away. And then his people began digging through the hill, and when they were getting near to where Étain was, Midir sent 3 times 20 beautiful women, having all of them the appearance of Étain. And he bade the king choose her out from among them. And the first he chose was his own daughter Essa. And then Étain called to him, and he knew her, and he brought her to Tiaur. And Eochaid gave his daughter Essa her choice of a place for herself, and she chose it, and made a raw there, and got the name of Raw Essa. And from it she could see 3 notable places: the hill of the She in Broga, and the hill of the hostages in Tiaur, and Dun Crivhan, and Bain Atur. And there was a great anger in Midir and his people because of their hill being attacked and dug into. And it was in revenge for that insult they brought Conor, High King of Ireland, that was grandson of Eochaid and of Étain, to his death afterwards at Da Derga's Inn. And here is where I end my tales for today. But I'll be back with more tales, many more tales. Until then, my friends, enjoy the journey. Slán go fóill. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this story, please give us a thumbs up and comment. It truly helps us.